Sal Pal Friday. Sal Paolantonio will join me here in just a moment as the Eagles are back at camp. It all feels right, doesn't it? ESPN senior national correspondent Sal Paolantonio, Eagles camp today. He had a chance to go one-on-one with the new head coach Nick Sirianni, and I got an opportunity to check out that audio and video before anybody else got to, and we'll talk a little bit about that and the Eagles at camp today with Sal Paolantonio, ESPN senior national correspondent, right now on a Sal Pal Friday. It all feels right in the world. Football and Sal Pal are back on the Sports Bash. How are you, my friend?
Mike, I'm great. I'm doing great. And it was a really interesting day today at Eagles training camp.
Well, we'll get into the particulars in just a minute. I do want to get into the particulars of your conversation with Nick Sirianni. And really, I thought it was a pretty poignant question. When you look at this roster, Sal, you've got a lot of guys who make a lot of money and who are older veterans. And at the other end of the spectrum, you got a lot of newcomers. There's not a lot of middle ground guys here. So how is Nick Sirianni kind of balancing his message with this crew that he has?
You know, I think he's trying to stick to 6 core values in terms of his approach so that it encompasses everybody across the spectrum. And like you said, it's heavy on both ends. You have some aging veterans. You don't have a lot of cap space to bring people in. That's why they were very quiet, mostly quiet on free agency front. And then you have a core of players. They had 9 draft picks this past spring. And you have a core of players like Devontae Smith, like Jalen Reagor in his second year, like Landon Dickerson, who's going to be called upon, if healthy, to take over on some of these older offensive line positions. So you have an interesting mix, and he's trying to keep it the same for everybody. Although it's pretty interesting, Darius Slay had the day off today as well as Zach Ertz. So I think he understands. Mike, and this is something that you and I have talked about a lot in the past couple of months, when you're starting camp in July, you have to go all the way through a 17-game schedule, and your last game is on January 9th. That's a really long way to keep guys interested, to keep guys healthy, to keep guys motivated, but let me go back, to keep guys healthy. And I think all these head coaches are realizing that dreaded term load management that they use in the NBA is going to be all too real this year in the National Football League.
Yeah, we already saw Carson Wentz is out indefinitely with foot injury. He hurt yesterday in the first practice, so that could impact the Eagles if he's not ready to play. That whole snap thing. But your message right there, just a little thing in practice and his foot indefinitely. So the balance of keeping these veterans. The balance of his message, too, like how he talks to these different guys. You're trying to teach these young guys one thing. You can't talk to them the same way you talk to Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, Lane Johnson, Brandon Brooks, right?
Yes, and if you listen to the entire interview, and a lot of it will be on Channel 6 tonight, all over the Delaware Valley, you'll be able to get down at the shore. It'll be on ESPN tonight and tomorrow. He really has emphasized, and this is the first time he has said this, he's really emphasized to the entire team that, we have guys on this team that won a Super Bowl, that have done it, that have won a championship. Lean on them. If you have a question about something, if you need experience on an issue, if you're not sure about something, go talk to them. Lean on that resource. And you know what? He didn't say it, Mike, but I got the sense that he was one of those people willing to do that and has done that. Talk to Lane Johnson, Brent. Hey, talk to Joe Flacco. I mean, Joe Flacco is as old as some of these coaches and has much more NFL experience on the field. And that stood out today. That really stood out. Flacco he looks so good. He really does. And I'm not suggesting that Flacco's going to be the starter. I'm just saying that Flacco, is Flacco the cannon for an arm, the quiet, steady, tall guy in the pocket and in the shotgun? Obviously, he didn't have great seasons at all with the Jets or the Broncos, and that's the reason why he was available. But boy, oh boy, when you put him next to Jalen Hurts right now, he looks like he's way ahead of him.
Right. I'm interested, 'cause as you mentioned, as you discussed with Nick Sirianni in that video people will see on SportsCenter tonight, which is, hey, you're the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. This isn't the offensive coordinator job in Indianapolis. Like, this is a different thing. Like, does he realize already how different this job is from other NFL positions?
Yeah, he told me the story about how he was down the shore. And he was in a hotel trying to have a vacation with his family, his wife and family. There was a wedding going on. And one of the groomsmen noticed him and just said, hey, stay right here. And Nick says, all right, I'll stay right here. And before you know it, the entire wedding party's with Nick Sirianni for 25 minutes, taking pictures, posing with the bride and groom, getting all kinds of advice from these guys about, hey, run the ball, do this, do that, run this play, do this, do that. A bunch of Eagles chants. I said, yeah, it's intense here. He goes, yeah, intense.
Right, and he leaves it with, I know what I signed up for. And that's the question. Like, does he know what he signed up for? Because it's one thing to see it, but training camp and then that first game where something doesn't go right. I think the first press conference on Wednesday, Sal, he had questions coming from all over the place. Different, just a different setting. And he seems to be handling and doing a good job because, as you asked him, you're following the only coach who has ever won a Super Bowl here. Like, how does he take that all in?
Yeah, that's the big thing, right? It's unprecedented. It's history-making. Doug Peterson was the only guy to win a Super Bowl in this particular town where the intensity level is pins the meter all of the time. So, yeah, he can say, I know what I signed up for. And he can understand that an NFL head coaching job is only one of 32 in America. He can say that and get all that. But like you said, Michael, when the losses pile up, and they're going to pile up, it's going to get pretty hot. It's going to be like, you're in the Luna Marju re-entering the atmosphere back in the 60s. It's not going to be that soft Bezos landing that you saw.
All right, Sal Pal Friday, let's look at some of the stories. They get Steve Nelson over the weekend. How big is that in terms – I said, Sal, see if you agree. They don't win 4 or 5 extra games because of him, but they can compete in 4 and 5 extra games now.
Yeah, and he's playing starting right corner right away. And they needed one, and that allows Avonte Maddox to move inside where he belongs. He can't play outside. So today he was at left cornerback. Slay was off. And that allows also Jonathan Gannon to really begin to find a structure to the back end of the defense, right? Michael, there's 3, in my opinion, 3 major issues. And I use major twice for a reason. Number 1 is the health and age of the offensive line and who's starting at left tackle. Those are big issues.
Yeah. Agree.
Big. Number 2 is let's see how you're structuring the back end of your defense. And when I mean back end, I'm talking about the 3 corners. You're putting 3 corners on the line of scrimmage. You're playing 5 defensive backs. You're in nickel most of the time now in the NFL because of formations that are thrown at you with extra wide receivers and with tight ends who can run like a train. So you got to have 5 guys all the time. The back end of that defense, the structure of it, the way it works, the strategy, the approach, the tactics, the coaching, the athletic ability, all very unsettled, extremely unsettled. You got time to figure it out, but the one thing that you can't do, and this is so important this year in the National Football League, and I'm going to harp on this when I talk to you every Friday, is you can't overdo it with these guys. It's a long season. This team's got 2 joint practices. We still have 6 weeks of practice before they put on the pads week 1. You can't overdo it. You're not going to invent this team in July. You're just not. And coaching staffs want to do that. They want to hit the fast forward button and say, yeah, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And, we're all settled here. We're doing this and we're doing that. Before you know it, you wear the guys out.
Yeah.
So that's number 2. And, Mike, number 3 is the passing game. If you can't throw the football with explosive plays, with efficient plays, with productive plays. If you can't throw the football to get yourself out of trouble on third down, if you can't throw the football down the field outside the hash marks, if you can't throw the football to control the middle of the field like Brady and Rodgers do, and if you can't throw the football in the red zone, then you're not scoring points and you're not winning games in the National Football League. And right now, it is a major, again, I'm using the word twice, and this is not a Kurt Vonnegut novel. This is major issue.
A couple, and you're absolutely right. I mean, the offensive line, and Roseman kind of hinted at this the other day. Like, they feel they have, if healthy, a very good offensive line, and you wonder how much that will make or break the success of this offense. You would think it would make this offense a heck of a lot better healthy. Obviously, we saw the problems last year. But one guy who I want to get your thoughts on is what's going to happen with Ertz and that whole situation.
Yeah, that's a big fat don't know. I think he's out there. He's he was off today. We can interpret that a million ways. I asked to talk to Zach Ertz today, and I was declined. I don't know if he talked to the general media. Was there anything on Twitter? I didn't see it about him talking to the general media today.
Nope.
Because I asked for Ertz. So as soon as I was declined, and then I saw him not in pads and on the sideline watching, I'm thinking, what? Trade in the works. They don't want to get him hurt, right? So
well, there was a lot of veterans today that had a maintenance day, so he was one of them. I mean,
yes,
yeah.
Yes, he was, and so, but he's in a different category because of all the trade rumors.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no question.
So, yeah, so that's what I first thought about Ertz, that there was, something going on behind the scenes. Now, the day has transpired pretty much. Nothing has happened. So, and it's a Friday afternoon. I think right now a lot of teams. I'm telling you, Mike, I was in Pittsburgh for 2 days. On Wednesday, Mike Tomlin had him at Heinz Field. There was no breeze. It was 95 degrees in the shade. It was sweltering hot. They were on the field at Heinz Field in the bowl, hitting full pads.
Right.
And I said to Mike Tomlin, I did a one-on-one interview that ran with him yesterday on NFL Live. Great guy, by the way, just absolutely great coach. And I said to him, Mike, it's July 28th. You got to get to January 9th. He goes, we all understand that. We get it, and we're going to have to manage that. He goes, I have several different schedules that I've worked out in terms of things and how they will change. And you look at the Indianapolis Colts now, right? 11-5 last year. Make a big play for Carson Wentz. Frank Reich gets COVID. Terrible news. Terrible. We all love Frank Reich. And we were rooting for Carson Wentz. I mean, everybody was, right? For a lot of different reasons, even selfish reasons. But, we want people to land on their feet and do well. And for him to get injured again, it's terrible. It's just terrible. And now you're looking at that division and you're saying, Jacksonville's not doing anything. Texans are a mess. The Colts have lost their quarterback and their head coach has COVID. It's the Titans. It's a matter of attrition and survival in the NFL right now. It really is.
You're darn right about that. Let me get your first impressions. You're on the field today because I saw Sal Pal ESPN Instagram to get his instant reaction. You had the hat on and the glasses, cost you $1 million. You look great. And in the background is Jalen Hurts, as you mentioned, Joe Flacco. But how Devonta Smith, how does he look? Because everybody talked about how skinny and small he is. In person, does he look like he belongs?
Catches everything. Let me repeat that because it's an important thing for Eagles fans to know. Eagles fans have gone through a lot of permutations and problems and angst about wide receivers who drop footballs all the time. This guy, Devonta Smith, catches everything, has total body control, knows how to start and stop his body, put his hands in a position to catch the football all the time. It's amazing, Mike, amazing.
Good to hear, right? Good to hear that because the other first-round pick from last year is struggling to get out in the field, right?
Yeah. So, Devonta Smith, total real deal. But again, like you said, he's not the biggest dude in the world, and he's got to last to January 9th coming out of college.
Yeah.
We used to talk about the rookies hitting the wall, remember?
Always.
Right? That wall just got a lot higher.
Yeah, extra game as
that wall just got a lot higher.
Extra game,
got a lot
17
higher.
games. So, obviously, we're back. Football's here. The Eagles are back. They've got their first preseason game on the 12th. And that is going to be quickly approaching. The left tackle, as you mentioned, that will be something to keep an eye on. Is there any – it seems that it's 50-50 right now, right? It's Mailata and Dillard, and there's no clear-cut anything right there right now.
No, there isn't. And next week, you know what, on the Mike Gill Show at 3 p.m., next Friday, I will be in Canton, Ohio for the induction of the Pro Football Hall of Fame of Harold Carmichael, Philadelphia Eagles.
How about it?
Steve Sable, Mount Laurel, New Jersey, NFL Films. And I'm going to give you a full report on the first preseason game of the Cowboys and the Steelers next Thursday night, which I will cover live for ESPN, and you'll hear all about it on your show, 3 p.m. Friday. We got a deal?
I got it, and I'm all in for that. And Sal Pal ESPN on Instagram to get all the little nuggets before then. And, of course, Sal Pal Fridays, another football season is here. All right, Sal, enjoy the last couple days of summer.
No, man. It's works. Summer's over for me. I'm working.
Summer's
I'm
over.
like you. You're always working. I'm working now, baby.
Yeah,
and I couldn't be happier. I couldn't be happier. You think 29 NFL
years.
Seasons. 29 training camps, and if I make it to 30, I'll be on the Mike Gill Show, I hope.
All right, man. I'll talk to you.
Thanks.
Sal Paolantonio here on the Sports Bash. Sal Pal Fridays are back. Football's back.